So for a minute now, people have been asking me. I think people have honestly been asking me to do this more than anything else. When you gonna come out with a podcast? When is you dropping a podcast? When can I get on the podcast? Can I be on the episode of the podcast? People was asking me about a podcast way before I even had a thought to do a podcast, bro. If you don't know, my name is Jae Kapone. This is episode 1. I don't have a name yet. I'm thinking about calling it the Jae Kapone podcast. As you can see, it's just me. It's no host. Running this dolo by myself. But I'm thinking about coming up with a name. I don't know. I think the Jae Kapone cop out was just too easy. If I did come up with a name, it's something with the word struggle in it, maybe. But there is no definitive name. Like the great Joe Budden, we could just name this later. Right now, we have no name for the podcast. But today, we got a couple different things we're going to get into. One, if you're here watching this, I just want to say thank you. I'm grateful for you even watching this. I don't care if this gets 0 views right now. This is just the sake of me making a podcast, having fun with it, seeing what I come up with, seeing the reaction, you know what I mean, for a prolonged time. Just talking to a camera, no real edits for about an hour, 2 hours. We just see how long it goes, and just take it there. And yeah, man, so welcome. We is at the unnamed, maybe the Jae Kapone podcast right now. And I want to thank everybody again for showing up. All the mothers, baby mothers, grandmothers, childs, little kids, all the YNs, you feel me? I appreciate everybody out here. So we got a couple things to talk about. What do I want to talk about first? Mind y'all, this is my first podcast. Not nervous really, but just like I don't know how I want to take this. Like I could be super super crazy. We could get super crazy, obnoxious with it, or we could just chill out, relax. You know what I'm saying? I could just talk, but I'm honestly just gonna see where it goes. You know what I mean? We a little lit right now, and yeah, I hope y'all enjoy it. Please leave likes, comments, anything y'all would suggest, even names. Like I said, I still don't have a name for a podcast. If you want to be a co-host, you know what I mean? Leave some comments. But if you gonna be a we're gonna talk about it. If you gonna be a co-host though, you gotta be able to like. I need somebody with constructive criticism, somebody who can talk back, who pay attention to the trends and the topics and everything. But yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. The first topic of the day: T-Pain is jealous of Drake. So let me see if I can find a clip real quick. As I'm looking for the clip, what I did remember hearing, T-Pain, I don't know, he confuses me because at one point it seemed like T-Pain didn't want the light. It seemed like T-Pain didn't want to be the number one guy. He didn't care about being the number one guy. He almost had that J. Cole effect before J. Cole really started saying it, like, I'm not reaching to be the number one guy. I know I have these accolades and I know I could be great. I know when I step in the room I could take the light, but it sounded like T-Pain always wanted to steer away from that. If you remember back when he was talking about when he was linking with DJ Khaled, and Khaled was talking about, well, man, we can get this many M's, 100 M's, and we could take the game up. And it sounded like T-Pain was like, well, why would I want to do that? You know what I mean? Like, I got my little mansion that's worth 5 million. Why do I need a mansion worth 50 million? You know, I'm doing just great. So it's like, I don't know. Personally, I felt like T-Pain always steered away from the light. But now with this whole Drake situation, it's seeming like, I don't know, he just keeps taking shots. That's all I see. He just keeps taking shots at Drake for no apparent reason. But let me see if I can find it.
One thing I learned from Drake, and here's the crazy thing. One thing I learned from Drake, but one thing he hasn't followed his own words. Drake said, I want to be one of them people that gracefully bow out and not get kicked out. I've ever since said, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all. Just one more. Let me try one more. And then he's the person that he said, he didn't want to be. And I learned that from him. Like when he said that, I want to gracefully bow out and not get kicked out. I was like, you know what?
Personally, I don't think it's anything wrong with what T-Pain said. Like, I do think Drake honestly felt that way. Now that Drake is being attacked by everybody, personally, he probably should have resigned from being the #1 guy a couple of years ago. A couple of albums ago, honestly. Let me look at his albums. Because when do I think, if I'm Drake, when do I stop trying to move with the trends? That's crazy. Why when I look up Drake and I looked up albums, why is Not Like Us? Will this focus? It's not gonna focus. But why is Not Like Us like the third thing right there? One is not a project, and two is not Drake's. But did Drake drop anything in 2023 or 2024? For All the Dogs, what did he drop in 2024? I don't think Drake dropped 2024. Hold on. I think that's the only year he missed. Yup. Drake did not drop 2024. Okay. He was too... So, But I wouldn't leave him for All the Dogs. And I don't like Honestly Never Mind. Her Loss. I don't know. If I'm Drake, I don't bow out. Personally, I don't agree with what he said. Like, I think music is timeless. I think art is timeless. I think that you could be 80 years old and you could still be a prominent rapper. Maybe you're not dropping the greatest albums that you were dropping at 22, 24, 25, 32, but guess what? You can still put out a body of work that people still appreciate. That's all I'm saying. And I feel like T-Pain is feeling that effect that not a lot of fans care about him. And personally, I don't feel that way because I care about T-Pain. I understand what he's contributed to music. But at the same time, it's like, when T-Pain drops an album, am I about to go, oh my God, the new T-Pain album just dropped, I need to go search for it? Not really, but I'm not going to discredit it. I might take my time with it. I might stop in between to do something else. I might go listen and check something else out. I might go watch a podcast, but I'm not going to discredit T-Pain. But it sounds like, I don't know, he wants Drake's spot. He wants to be able to gracefully bow out of the game. And it seems like he never really got that. Like, it seemed like T-Pain just stopped dropping music because he stopped being hot and then he came back. So, I don't know. And then you can't say you don't want to be #1 because you're still dropping music. If you genuinely didn't care and only wanted to make money off of something, you would have did anything. Or you you would literally just be on Twitch. If you could just do whatever you wanted and it's just whatever. No, I think T-Pain, just like anybody else who creates music, still aspires to be the top guy. If he doesn't, I think that's cap. Same thing with J. Cole. When J. Cole was screaming, and J. Cole is my favorite rapper. When J. Cole was screaming at, oh man, I don't want to be the greatest rapper, I'm thinking about retiring, yada, yada, yada. I think he was feeling unappreciated, just like most rappers who not the top 1, 2, and 3. And even though he was top 1, 2, or 3, you know what I'm saying? he just wasn't feeling that appreciation. Kind of like with Wale. You know what I mean? I feel like Wale has always been a prominent figure in music. Forget just DC music. In music, I felt like he's always been prominent, but he never felt that effect. So it weighs different. You understand? So yeah, I disagree with T-Pain. I feel like it's kind of like a power thing. It's kind of like a control thing. Of course, you would want to be in control of your career, but at the end of the day, once you drop music, it no longer belongs to you. So you no longer dictate if you still hold that power. We as the fans control if we still going to listen to you tomorrow, if you're still going to be hot tomorrow. The label could push whatever, but if it's not hot, it's not hot. You know how many songs Tekashi 6ix9ine put out after the indictment that just was trash? He just couldn't catch a hit no more. It's just like all the dudes he was hanging with telling them, oh man, that's fire, this the one. They're no longer there. So he doesn't have the audience, us, around him anymore. So yeah, man. I disagree with T-Pain. But what's next? What else is on the chopping board? I like that. That's cool. When does Drake leave the game? So, on the Joe Budden podcast, they said that Drake is nothing in. Joe essentially said that Drake's retirement is no time near. Personally, I disagree. I think not 3, maybe 5. 5 to 10 realistically. And I know y'all like, oh my God, that's a long time. Not really. It's going to float. But I say anywhere between 5 to 10 years, we see Drake start to near the end of his career. If not before that. If he doesn't have another crazy battle. Because I don't think Drake is done battling with people. I think he still thinks that he won that battle with Kendrick. You feel me? That he still has an opportunity to go out here and display said talents. You know what I mean? But I think it's over with. I think he's done. If he go and battle somebody else, I think Drake has to be very calculated in his next battle, because if not, I think that's what might take him out. If Drake doesn't choose to gracefully bow out in his next endeavor, whether that be acting, whether he starts a clothing brand, whether he buys a team, endorses a team, whether he just becomes the CEO of his own label or the A&R somewhere or CEO somewhere, Drake might get taken out by another rapper. If he choose to battle again, I can see that. I could definitely see that. And it's going to be somebody we probably think is a scrub too. And they're going to troll Drake. It's going to be somebody young who played the internet games a little bit better than Drake. And I think that's going to demolish him. Maybe like a Tyler the Creator or something. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in that generation might take him out real quick. But yeah, I say 5 to 10 years, Drake starts making his move out of here. If not, somebody trying to take him out before. If maybe there's a real beef with Future or something. Who knows? Next. Jim Jones is old. Bruh. One, I was already kind of sick and tired and at Jim Jones because the Kanye situation. If you don't know, I guess a couple years ago, or really, okay, DJ Akademiks did an interview with Kanye West, and Kanye West essentially explained his beef with Jim Jones. They were doing whatever business they was doing beforehand, some clothing stuff. Jim Jones connects Kanye West. Dang, I got something in my eye. Jim Jones connects Kanye West to this crypto guy, whoever the crypto guy is. He connects him to him. He calls him Mr. Pink. It's a movie. I don't know. He said he connects him to this crypto guy. All Kanye got to do is go to the meeting and Jim Jones is going to get like 2 million. I think it was 2 or 3 million, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 2 million. $2 million for the meeting. All Kanye had to do was pull up. You feel me? He pulls up. He gives Jim Jones the money. He later contacts Jim Jones and asks Jim Jones to send him a PDF of all the fly trends, of all the YNs, of all the guys he know in New York. Make a PDF, send it to me. Jim Jones, after getting $2 million from Kanye West for going to a meeting, Jim Jones tells Kanye West, I don't know how to make a PDF. Kanye West gets upset at him. The whole internet was confused. They're like, okay, Jim Jones is old. He don't know how to make a PDF. Jim Jones then has an interview and said, nah, I've built computers. I've run labels. I've done A&R. I know how to use technology. Of course I know how to make a PDF. I've been in this rap game with all this new technology coming out. You think I don't know how to make a PDF? Of course. I'm not sending it to you because you said and did all this other crazy stuff about the Jewish people looking crazy. Now I don't want to be nowhere near you. Yo, if I'm Kanye West, I can, yes, I'll make Jim Jones, yeah, you dead to me. Because what? Bro, if I get you $2 million and you tell me you don't know how to make a PDF, bro, you could have sent me some BS. And with one of the things, one real trend on it, you could have, the rest of the could have been BS, bro. You could have just took some pictures of a bunch of random dudes in New York for all I know and sent it to me. But you told me you don't know how to make a PDF? After I just hope you get $2 million and I ain't asked you for none of it and you ain't give me none of it? Yeah, you dead to me. That's crazy. Like, the industry y'all play different games, bro. Y'all play different games, bro. Not saying you owe your life to the man, but damn, all he had to do was go to the meeting and he didn't ask you for none of the 2 million. Probably because he knew he was going to ask you for something in the future. But guess what? He didn't ask you for any money. He asked you for the trends of New York, for his clothing brand, bro. That's crazy to me. So after that, right, Jim Jones proceeds to go and say more dumb stuff. He gets on an interview, and he gets on an interview with Jadakiss and Fat Joe. They got a podcast. And on the podcast, he says he's more known to the younger generation and more influential to the younger generation than Nas. Guess what, Jim Jones? I've listened to Nas. I'm 25 years old. I was born in the year 2000, June 5th. I've listened to Nas. Nigga, we all listen to If I Ruled the World. I probably listened to more songs by Nas than I've ever listened to by Jim Jones. They deal with some technical difficulties real quick. You know what I'm saying? Episode 1, baby. We still getting it together. But gun to my head right now, I couldn't name 3 Jim Jones songs. I'm telling you. But I could name 3 Nas songs. If I Ruled the World. Quincy and Jones. Or what was it? Quincy and Nas, something like that. And then Car 85. I can honestly say that the last couple of Nas projects have been good projects. Have they been phenomenal and explosive like all the other critics? Nah, they was decent projects. But guess what? I didn't even know Jim Jones was still dropping music. I knew he was dropping singles. But for him to compare himself to Nas is like, dang. You're not even dressing that cool, bro. I'm gonna put up some of his fits. You're not dressing that great, gang. It's not looking that good, Mr. Jim Jones. So after he says that, he goes on Shannon Sharp and doubles down on the fact that he's better than Nas. Like Nas don't want to see him in the booth or whatever. Crazy. I feel like not even a day goes by after I see all this Nas, I'm better than Nas, yada, yada, yada. Tell me why Nas is doing a commercial, and in the commercial, he's talking about some, man, let me just play it. Hold on. Because this was too fly. I'm not even going to hold you. This was too fly. Let me play this. I got to play this. Because this was too fly. This was too fly. Because this was entirely too fly, bro. When I seen this, I said, like, is this his response to Jim Jones? Or was this already coming out?
It's not something you wait for. It's something you build. It lives in the hand. Future, it's not something you wait for. It's something you build. It lives in the hands of the doers, the dreamers, the people who refuse to stand still. Resorts World is more than a casino. It's energy. It's opportunity. It's hope for the borough. Second chance for some, the first step for many. It's where community gathers, not just to win, but to build a future once imagined. This isn't just business. This is legacy. And now it's time. Time to invest in us.
In the commercial, he's wearing a diamond pinky ring, walking through a casino, signing a huge contract, talking about business and big dollars and big boy moves. Puts the contract in a silver envelope case and walks out. And I think that was the response to Jim Jones to say, you over here talking about who's more influential and who's doing more raps. I'm about to put $1 billion casino in the middle of Queens, bro, and change the whole landscape. And let's see who's most influential in the next 10 years, the next 15 years, the next 20 years. Because I'm pretty sure that casino might be standing, and Jim Jones still might be talking about the shoes he put on in 2004. Stop playing, man. They gotta stop it, man. It's not the same type of business, bro. Matter of fact, let me see the last time Jim Jones dropped. Let's go to the last Jim Jones record. When did Jim Jones drop a song? Cause he doing all this promo. He had to have dropped a song. He had to have dropped a song. His last song was 2 weeks ago. Make It Out. Featuring Ron E. Let's go to it. Let's listen to it. Let's see if I can put it on here. Let's go. Let's listen to Mr. Jim Jones. Jim Jones.
Watch my friends turn to enemies, I'm running out. All this blood on my hands, pray I'll make it out. Down, I go Rari or
The name of that song, what the fuck? Make It Out by Jim Jones. Out of 10, I give it a 6. The hook really saved you. I'm not gonna lie. Make it out. Like he really saved you on that. But as far as the bars, it was lukewarm. You know, you was more so telling the story. But Jim Jones, you should never in your life ever again, never ever compare yourself to Nas, bro. I'm so glad Nas didn't diss you or something. You got lucky. He really about to show you that you shouldn't be talking about grown men. It's grown men business, Jim Jones. Better leave him alone. What's next? Joe Budden. Oh my goodness. Joe. I feel like at this point, Joe knows how to go viral. Joe has we all think Joe Budden is just this old nigga who been on the internet, who don't know nothing. But Joe Budden is calculated. Joe Budden understands the internet. Joe understands what's gonna go viral and what's gonna make people click on to his channel and click on to that Patreon. He knows what's up. Like he not no dummy. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Joe Budden had posted some numbers. Originally it was just, and I might put a picture up here, but he had posted some numbers on, I think it was his Instagram, and it was two blacked out lines, but the line that everybody was paying attention to was the 30 million. And it was showing his views and how many subscribers. He had 100 and I think like 50,000 subscribers on his Patreon and like 30 million views in like a month. And the part that was blacked out was the payment. So somebody, the internet does the internet things. Somebody basically removed the black lines and it showed how much he's making a month on Patreon. Dude is clearing 900,000 a month easily on Patreon, while his co-host Queen's Flip is not even getting anywhere close to what he's asking for. Apparently Queen's Flip has been asking for 40,000. You feel me? Does he deserve it? Who knows? I personally think, I mean, he could pay 40,000. You feel me? He probably already paying at the parks. And if he's not paying at the parks, that's crazy. Because why is Parks not getting 40,000 and you making 900,000 a month off Patreon? Let me put in perspective for y'all, bro. You got Patreon, you got his YouTube, you got the YouTube clips, you have YouTube shorts. Then you have, after you get to the sponsors, Joe was a rapper. He has music. He has a catalog. I'm pretty sure, matter of fact, let me look at Joe Budden monthly Spotify listeners. See if I can find that real quick. Give me a second. Look at Joe Budden monthly Spotify. I just want to look at it real. Joe Budden. Okay, he don't even have 1 million, but he has 800,000 monthly listeners. 800,000 monthly listeners on Spotify when he hasn't dropped a new song and God knows when. All of that traction is definitely coming from the podcast. Then you have merch. So we talking about 5 that I know of that is public, that we know of. Then he's publicly talked about on the podcast that he's into real estate. I'm pretty sure he has other investments, dude. And he's clearing just 900,000 from Patreon. And you're not paying your co-hosts 40,000. Even if they got 40,000 each, that's only like 250. It's only $250,000. It's a little dent in the Patreon, but bro, with all the business ventures you get into lately, you can afford that, man. Like Joe is wearing designer everything, huge Cuban chains. The Cuban chain was so big, he stopped wearing it. I think he wore it like twice. And then the reaction that everybody was giving him, he was like, yeah, I can't. Yeah. Ian probably told him not to wear that no more. The chain was so big, bro. That's when I figured out Joe was getting money. Like, the design and everything was cool, but when I seen that big ass chain, bruh, I was like, yeah, this nigga getting money now, bro. He's getting money, bruh. It's no way this nigga not getting money, bruh. The chain is as big as his head. And it makes sense. 900,000 off Patreon, bro. Pay them co-hosts, bro. You'll get way more out of them. You definitely got to update contract. You feel me? As far as stipulations, like they definitely can't like be going off less time off. Probably they clearing 40,000 an episode. Come on, bro. Make these niggas millionaires off the podcast, bro. So now when they go to other podcasts, they can charge this or charge whatever. Not saying they gotta charge 40,000, but such and such and such. You can't charge me 2,000 to come on your podcast no more. You gotta give me 5. You gotta give me 10 to pull up to your event. Because on the Joe Budden podcast, I'm clearing 40,000. Come on, bro. Like it's not just about, I think it's bigger than Joe. You feel me? And in turns, he posted that just to go viral. But at the end of the day, now that's created internal beef. Because now I'm pretty sure they didn't talk. Everybody started asking, well, what you getting? Well, what you getting? Well, what you getting? And certain people might have opened up. Well, I'm only getting 15. I'm only getting 20. I'm only getting 25. Well, god dang, how you getting 25? I'm only getting 15. You know what I'm saying? And cool, some certain people's position in media might be different. That's cool. You feel me? You can negotiate what you can negotiate. But at the end of the day, bruh, 900,000 off Patreon, bro. You can pay them people, gang. You can pay them people, bro. Your overhead is not that big. That's when, I don't know, I think at a certain point, that's when people start becoming not just selfish, but blocking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could give back more. You know what I mean? And it's not even just the Joe Budden. I don't just want to make this a Joe Budden thing. I think to anybody, if you get into a position like that, where you making X amount, because I don't know what he making at the end of the day, but if you making 900,000 off one revenue source, and that's probably not the main one, you can afford to pay your co-host a little extra, you know what I'm saying, to potentially make them more in other avenues than you just holding it, saying, gimme, 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 gimme. And the only way that they can make more money is to do more episodes. But to do more episodes is virtually impossible because they damn near doing all the episodes plus. So how would they do more episodes if there aren't any more episodes to do? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that kind of sound like the job, a 9 to 5, when they tell you what they fake creating stuff for you to do, and it ain't nothing for you to do. It's like, it's not my fault you paying me 17, 20, 25 an hour to stand here. That's your fault. You ain't create the proper things and make this drink structured for me to get the job done or to do extra on the job. Now I gotta do such and such job because he ain't show up today. So I don't know. It started to get crazy. Personally, I think Joe can afford to pay them, bro. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. What's next? Roc Nation versus DJ Akademiks. So, first off, man, the whole situation with Roc Nation has been completely weird. I've stayed away from it because it doesn't directly involve Jay-Z. And I'm mad that I keep seeing Jay-Z's name, Jay-Z's picture, Jay-Z's face, Jay-Z, everything. I keep seeing everything about Jay-Z, but nothing is directly with Jay-Z. Not even a little bit. The only thing that's connected to Jay-Z is the fact that somebody in his company, you know what I'm saying? That's like somebody at McDonald's. The dude Lean's Flip was just outside doing a vlog with a dude who was trapping out McDonald's. They called it the McTrap. But guess what? The CEO of McDonald's is not saying, oh my goodness. And they was letting them do it. They not saying, oh my goodness, he's letting drug dealers, McDonald's is a drug infested franchise. Like none of that is going on. But now all of a sudden, since one of Roc Nation's employees is under some turmoil. Now it's Jay-Z. It's Jay-Z fault. Jay-Z did this. Jay-Z did that. I just find it crazy, gang. But I've been staying away from it. High key. I ain't really been paying too much attention to it. But lately, the latest news is DJ Akademiks. He been talking about it, been keeping up with it. And essentially, while everybody else has been trying to stay away from it, either because they scared or they got ties to such and such in the industry, whatever the case may be, he been going full force and been treating it like any other story. You feel me? I kind of credit him on that end because he is treating it like any other story. But he kind of got frustrated saying that the big media companies like the Breakfast Club, the Joe Budden podcast, they not really talking about it. And he was kind of feeling, he kind of called them out, not on no like it's beef, but more so like, well, we friends and I kind of look up to y'all, and it's like, you kind of like the new big media. You guys are like the new big media. So like, how come there's nothing being said about this? I kind of feel him on that front, not gonna lie. But I don't really like, I don't know. It's not really up to them in the sense of like, they don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Just like, I don't have to talk about every topic that I'm talking about today. I could talk about whatever I want to talk about. So I just think it's not fair on that. Just because you choose to talk about something doesn't mean the next man or woman or person has to, you know what I'm saying? You just like you got certain relationships with Joe Budden. You didn't go super hard on him when it came out that he was sleepwalking naked to his neighbor's house that he just had a beef with, and he potentially getting sued for that. You ain't go too hard on him about that because that's your man's. So you don't know any type of relationships people have in this industry. You don't know every single body. But anyway, it started getting real messy when apparently Roc Nation started sending DJ Akademiks not a cease and desist, but copyright strikes on his Instagram to take down music. Now, I know you probably thinking like, well, he been posting their music, why he like take it down? The whole kill is DJ Akademiks is a media page. And like most media pages, especially big ones like DJ Akademiks, No Jumper, probably even DJ Vlad, they get paid. These are promo posts. They don't just go like, I would say at least 99% of the posts that they post are promo posts. Someone is paying to have that posted. Now, something might be so crazy like a death or an arrest or, you know what I'm saying, something exponential and like war that he might post, you know what I mean? But at the same time, most of the time, if it involves music, especially music dropping, a music video, anything that has to do with a rapper, 9 times out of 10, that's being paid for. So the fact that he's receiving copyright strikes on something, any type of content that was paid for, is ridiculous to me. That makes no sense, because what if he decides to keep them up? Are you going to in turn sue him? Because you can't sue him because you gave him the content. But I guess you could say like, we don't want you to have the content no more, but I don't know. That's weird. That's weird to me, because you're not going to ask him for the money back. So why even, I don't know why it's getting this far. Maybe because DJ Akademiks has been going crazy, but even then he's treating it like a regular story, bro. So I will see. I highly doubt that Roc Nation is about to send everybody copyright strikes just for saying Roc Nation. But we're going to see, man. We're going to see. Personally, I think DJ Akademiks is playing a dangerous game at the end of the day. Like, I don't think DJ Akademiks himself has the power to go against Roc Nation, and I don't think he has the friends that he thinks he has to beat Roc Nation. So I think at a certain point he better chill. You know what I'm saying? But somebody come knocking at that door. But what's next? What is next? Diddy's lawyer. So before we get to Diddy predictions, we got to talk about this video I seen about Diddy's lawyer. So let me see if I can find a clip. I gotta find a clip. Bro, I gotta find a clip. Cause this was crazy. If this is actually Diddy's lawyer, this was crazy. Diddy lawyer was wilding out, gang. Oh, I can't find it. Oh, I can't find it. I can't find the clip. But essentially, this dude, black dude, he was wearing some shades, you feel me? Blue suit. He walks out of the courtroom and some random white guy with a microphone just starts asking him questions. Now, mind you, it looks like he's being recorded. You know what I'm saying? It seems like there's a guy in front of him with a camera. He's talking into a microphone. The guy comes up to him and start asking him questions about the Diddy trial. Like, are you a lawyer, such and such? Like, what ties do you have to the building and the Diddy case? Do you have any ties? He starts saying, yeah, you feel me? I'm one of Diddy's lawyers. I'm working closely with the case, yada, yada, yada. So he starts asking him questions. But before he could really start getting into the questions, I swear to God, the guy just starts like admitting to like just the craziest things. He said when Hugh Hefner was doing his business, nobody questioned him for what he was doing. Nobody questioned him for messing with underage girls and bringing them to the cave at the Playboy Mansion. What? Then the white dude asked the lawyer, were you there with the underage girls? This dude says, I don't know. What? What do you mean you don't know? Excuse me, sir? How do you not know if you was there with underage girls at that time? What do you mean by that? That makes no sense to me. So that was red flag number one. Red flag number two was when he started talking and the dude started asking him, was he there at the Diddy parties? And he said, well, I'm not going to incriminate myself and say I was there at the Diddy parties. But if I was there, I enjoyed myself and had a good time. And what? But that's not even the craziest part of the whole thing. The craziest part is when the dude said there was sex parties as big as a gymnasium. And the parties is so big that you don't know who's over there. It could be Leonardo DiCaprio. It could be such and such. It could be this famous person. It could be that famous person. And I was just like, just taken back. Like, this dude got to be high, drunk. He can't be Diddy's lawyer. This dude is bumping coke. And he definitely just walked into the courtroom. Because who is he and what is he saying right now? Is this true? Were you there? Did you see it? Were you a witness? Like, what's going on? How do you know this, sir? It was too many questions. And by the time the guy was really about to deep dive into more questions, I guess like people was hearing him. So more people started pulling up, asking him. So yeah, who are you? What are you connected to? You said you're connected to the Diddy case, right? What's your name? Are you a lawyer? He started, man, is that any of your business? Why are you asking me that? Yeah, I gotta go. And just like disappeared into the crowd. It was, I swear it was crazy. But I don't know how I feel about it. Do I know if he's Diddy's lawyer? I think it's cap. I don't think he Diddy's lawyer. Do I think he was at one of them parties? It sounds like from his own account, he was at the cave gang. So if that's Diddy's lawyer, I don't know how I feel. Especially if the jurors seen that. I'd be scared. For sure. But yeah, finally, last topic, man. We're going to talk about Diddy's predictions. What do we think is going to happen? As of today, actually, like yesterday, you feel me? They just was talking about the jurors in Diddy's case. Essentially, not only has the prosecutors dropped some of the charges against Diddy, seeing as though they felt like they couldn't prove their case. When it came down to the note that came back for the decision, it was one juror who apparently wasn't following everybody's instructions. He had previously told them that he possibly couldn't be a part of the case because he had built pre-bias due to seeing the Cassie video where Diddy had beat Cassie. But then later told them, which they probably told him to say, but later told them that no, I think I can judge Diddy and not look at him in that video. But before that, they removed a black man because he had moved from New York to New Jersey during the case. I don't know. I find it crazy. So, after that, he's not following instructions. The jurors come back and they ask the judge. So they come back and they ask the judge, if a person asks you for drugs, is that considered distribution? See, now what they're trying to get Diddy on, they literally told all of the jurors to find 2 counts of Diddy racketeering. Now, in racketeering, you have to have multiple people in this criminal enterprise where Diddy instructed or had people or coerced people to do acts for him. Now, it was seeming like they kind of don't have anything there, and they kind of had to like persuade the jurors in the sense, because the prosecutors were saying that, well, it's essentially not a racketeering case, just like how I see it. It's not a racketeering case because it seemed like Diddy essentially did all this stuff by himself. Yeah, he might have had other people and was doing it, like had Cassie, or Cassie was paying for him, but it seemed like a lot of times Cassie was doing this on her own. There's a lot of times Cassie was doing this and Diddy wasn't even there. So I don't know, man. Personally, I think Diddy might get time served. He might in turn sue. And this might be a crazy story. Like, I don't know. If he does get arrested, I think they give him 5 years. Anything over 5 years, I think is crazy. Even if he gets 5 years, I think that's crazy. But anything over 5 years, I think is impossible for him to get right now, especially on the charges that they still trying to get him on. I think he walks on that, but we'll see. Yeah, it's probably a short episode, but this has been episode 1 of the I Don't Know the Name podcast. We just gonna call it the I Don't Know podcast for now. Maybe the Jae Kapone podcast. Who knows how I'm feeling when I post this. But leave all your thoughts, your comments down. Again, I don't care how many people watch this. I'm just happy that I even get to do this, that you even get to watch it, whoever you are. And I appreciate you for your time. I'm gonna catch you in the next one, man. We're gonna be out of here. Maybe put some music I could play to get out of here, man.
If you ever play this, fuck you. He a shooter, he don't scuff, we blow that horn like David Ruffin. We gon' change shit, cost the championship ring, I put that on me.